Well, it is 2:15. I think we're good to go to get started. Welcome to CIS 75. My name is Irvin Lemos. I will be your instructor for this course. Right off the top, I want to be clear that this is not your typical community college class. I have not been taught in the ways of being a teacher. I am a cybersecurity professional. So my class has been built from that perspective, not of my colleagues, how they build their classes, because they are all born teachers. I'm coming at this from the perspective of I'm going to train you to be ready for the workforce. We're going to do a lot of labs, a lot of hands-on activity, a lot of research, because that's what you do in real life. So this class is all about preparing you for the real world. Not to just remember things from a textbook and be able to regurgitate it in a test. It's all about, can you critically think? Can you build stuff? Can you take the stuff that we talk about and implement it? Not just be able to recite it. So please keep that in mind as we go through this course. My classes are all pretty standard in all my lecture notes. Everything I'm going to talk from is already available to you. And all the work you'll be doing in the week is already lined up. I am still writing this course. So if you look at Canvas, you'll see like Module 1, you'll see the event stuff. You'll get to Module 10, and then suddenly there's a gap all the way to 15. Well, that's because I'm working on Module 11 now, and I'll be working through these. So as I work through them, they'll become published, and you'll be able to see them. So as of today, on day 1, I haven't actually finished writing the whole thing, but I'm far enough that you will get a good understanding of what everything looks like. We'll do 1 or 2 chapters a week, and then there'll be a lab to do and a chapter review that's not like the biggest thing in the world. It's all about doing the labs. What I do want to point out about all my classes is the due dates. Every assignment has a due date, but it is not essential that you submit everything by the due date. I understand life happens. I understand that you need to go deal with things sometimes. I'm not going to punish you for that. So yes, things have a due date. I'll put Canvas back here. Let's say like Module 2. This stuff is due September 6th. But if life happens, don't worry about it. Submit it when you can. I'm not going to penalize you because life happened. Just submit it. Submit the work when you can. As long as it's all submitted before the due until date. This is the date that I want you to actually have in your radar. December 7, 11:59. That is the last time I will allow any work to be submitted. Once December 7 hits, Canvas will automatically remove the course from your view. So December 8 at midnight, you will no longer see the class on Canvas, which therefore means you can't submit any work after that. So you have from today all the way to December 7th to submit anything from the course without penalty for turning it in late. So please rest easy. Don't stress out about all the due dates when life happens. I understand it does, and it sucks, but that's okay. You know, do what you need to do, come back, and finish your work. Any questions about the format of the class, the due dates, the any of that? Uh, 601, what do you mean? Yes, this class is being updated for the 601 course. That's why it's not fully finished, because I'm writing the rest for it. The big thing that I need everybody on is Discord. Everyone should be on Discord. If you are not, we need to get that straightened out. Well, we can do that after the lecture. But everybody does need to be on Discord. This is the best way to get to me. Email is slow to get to me because I get inundated by emails. Right now I do have my email up, so I'm helping students who are trying to find the Zoom link. But normally, it's my email just gets clogged. So the best way to reach me is Discord. So everybody should have a Discord account. Everybody should be on Discord so that you can talk to one another, because Discord is part of your grade. Communicating with your peers is part of the grade, and it's just the fastest way to reach me. Any questions? Discord is what I've been using, so I've just gone with Discord. Okay, seeing no questions, we will move on. This is a picture of a home. Bonus points if you know what house this is. For the purpose of just a quick analogy, the home can be anything where our data resides. It could be the place where our organization's data is in. It could be our private health information. It could be financial information. Any kind of information. It needs to be secured. So how does a home secure us? Well, without the house key, you can't get in. Only the people that live inside of the house can make changes. And the home should be accessible anytime. As long as you have the key, you're authorized to get into the house. That is how the primary objectives of cybersecurity work: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality is all about ensuring the unauthorized individuals are not able to gain access to sensitive information. Integrity ensures that there are no unauthorized modifications to information systems, either intentionally or unintentionally. And availability ensures that information and systems are ready to meet the needs of legitimate users at the time those users request them. These are the things that we are tasked with ensuring for the infrastructures that we manage. On the flip side, we have some risks. An infiltrator could get a copy of the key. They could change the home the home contents and change the locks to those doors, thereby making that person be the only one who can get in. For cyber, we're talking about the disclosure, alteration, and denial. So disclosure would be the exposure of sensitive information to unauthorized individuals. The alteration would be unauthorized modification of information and is a violation of the principle of integrity. And denial is the unintended disruption of an authorized user's legitimate access to information. These two triads, the CIA and DAD, are useful for planning and risk analysis. So putting our minds into cyber, what are some risks that we work with? Because our whole point of existence is all around risk. Well, the first one is financial. Monetary damage as a result of a data breach. Now, this can be directly through cost of rebuilding a data center after being physically destroyed, the cost of contracting experts for incident response and forensic analysis. It could be indirectly through losing a laptop or competitors gaining hosts of product plans. Another risk is reputational. Negative publicity surrounding a breach causes loss of goodwill among customers, employees, suppliers, and other stakeholders. It's much more difficult to quantify reputational risk, but it can have a long-term impact on future decisions about doing business. There's the strategic. An organization will become less effective in meeting its major goals and objectives as a result of a breach. There's operational risk. Risk to the organization's ability to carry out its day-to-day operations, like a DDoS attack, a distributed denial of service attack. Compliance is also another risk. A breach causes an organization to run afoul of legal and regulatory requirements. So, how do we fight against these risks? Well, we have some technical risks, like our technical controls, like enforcing confidentiality, integrity, and availability. In the case of using our house, that could be using different kinds of locks, or maybe stronger types of locks. Operationally, which is processes put in place to manage technology in a secure manner. That could be things like user access, log monitoring, vulnerability management. Could also be managerial. Procedural mechanisms that focus on the mechanics of risk management process. So doing things like risk assessments, security planning exercises, trainings, and so on. The security control types that exist can be things like preventative, stopping a security breach before it occurs, like a firewall. It could be detective, identifying security events that have already occurred, like an IDS or security camera. It can be corrective, remediating security issues that have already occurred, like backups. Could be a deterrent, seeking to prevent an attacker from attempting to violate security policies, such as fences or gates. We have the physical, things that can affect the physical world, and compensating, mitigating the risk associated with exceptions made to a security policy. So data is really the key thing that we need to protect. That is our primary objective, is protecting data. And we have to protect it in the 3 states that it exists. Data exists at rest, stored in storage media like disk, drives, USB sticks, or on the cloud. When it's in motion, passing through a network, or when it's in use, either in memory or in the CPU. Some controls that we have for data security can be encryption, using mathematical algorithms to protect information in transit and at rest. We have the data loss prevention, enforcing information handling policies and procedures to prevent data loss or theft. This could be host-based on the local machine or on the CPU as it runs. And there's also minimization, techniques used to reduce the amount of sensitive information that users maintain. All of these ways put together are all about defending and protecting the data that we have to work with. A guiding principle for you all is the higher something is secure, the higher the security, the lower it's convenient. So, for example, it is convenient to use the password 1234 on an account. That is not secure. So the higher something is convenient, the lower its security factor. Vice versa, trying to memorize a random 20-character password is much more secure, but it is highly inconvenient. So we need to start classifying our cybersecurity threats, because they come from all over. For example, they could be internal or external. some of the most dangerous threats come from within our own environment. Like a user, an authorized user who becomes disgruntled. There are different levels of sophistication or capability that can vary between running borrowed code from others to exploiting vulnerabilities discovered in research labs and are unknown to the security community. Some threats have quite the funding. Highly organized attackers sponsored by criminal syndicates or national governments with limitless resources, all the way down to simple hobbyists. And of course, their intent or motivation will vary as well. Some threats are just out for the thrill of the attack, or competitors engaged in corporate espionage, or even nation states trying to achieve political objectives, criminal syndicates focused on direct financial gain, and so on and so on. A simple way that the cybersecurity community describes motivation of hackers is by using the hats that were adopted in Western films to identify the good guy versus the bad guy. You have the white hat, who acts with authorization and seeks to discover vulnerabilities with the intent to correct them. You have the gray hat, acts without proper authorization, but with intent of informing targets of any vulnerabilities. And then there's the black hats, who seek to defeat security controls and compromise information and systems for their own purposes. We also have a variety of threat actors. From script kiddies. These are people who use hacking techniques but have very limited skills. They rely on automated tools downloaded from the internet. These are the most plentiful, and they are also the most unfocused on their work, and they lack the skill and resources. They just know how to go on GitHub and download stuff and just run it. There are the hacktivists, using hacking techniques to accomplish activists' goals. They could deface a website whose policies they don't agree with, to attacking a network over a political issue. Because they believe they're engaged in a just crusade, they may risk getting caught to accomplish their goals or as a badge of honor. Their skills will vary, but they can pose a significant danger to their targets. There are the criminal syndicates, organized crime motivated by illegal financial gain. The variety exists as cyber-dependent crime, child sexual exploitation, payment fraud, dark web activity, terrorism support, cross-cutting crime, and so on. There are the advanced persistent threats. They use advanced techniques occurring over a significant period of time. They're more emblematic of nation-state attacks. They can have espionage, political, or economic motives. My personal fear, the insider, an employee, a contractor or vendor, or other authorized individual, attacks an organization by disclosing information, disrupting business processes, and so on. Having some behavioral assessments is more of a powerful way of identifying who could potentially do these attacks. And of course, competitors. Corporate espionage designed to steal sensitive information for use to their business advantage, such as theft of customer information, stealing proprietary software, identifying confidential product plans, and so on. So the ways that these threat actors make it onto our networks also varies, from email and social media to getting direct access by walking into the building, doing it through wireless networks, since a lot of wireless networks exist and you can't really tell if the car who parked in front of your house is actually trying to launch an attack from your network. The cloud, now, just like a persistent environment, if they have improper access controls, they're going to be accessible. And third-party risks from a supply chain, inserting backdoors before they even reach the target. Threat intelligence is the set of activities and resources available to cybersecurity professionals seeking to learn about the changes in the threat environment. These can be anything from open source intelligence to proprietary and closed source intelligence. Could be assessing threat intelligence, like is it timely, is it accurate, is it relevant? Using things like the structured threat information expression, an XML language from the Department of Homeland Security. Public and private information sharing centers, like the information sharing and analysis centers. And of course, doing your own research, building your own threat toolkit that's based on vendor security websites, vulnerability, and threat feeds from vendors, government agencies, private organizations, academic journals, technical publications, professional conferences, local industry groups, and social media accounts that are from prominent security professionals. We're going to go through all these things. We're going to show you who you can connect with, places that you can learn more. You know, this is not in any way a here it is and we're done. We're going to talk about these things more in depth. We're going to connect with them and work with them as we go through this course. Any questions on the topics?
Can you talk a little bit more about the advanced persistent threats and what that can look like?
An advanced persistent threat can be something like the Russian groups who spend months looking at their target, learning about how their target works, what they do, setting up the proper attack, and making their way into that network or that person's devices, installing tools that will stay connected to them no matter what, and being able to launch attacks at any time. Those are more of like your the things that you normally think of when it comes to like Hollywood movies of people making their way in. Just it takes a while. They tend to be undetected. And it normally takes like 160 days to figure them out that they breached the system.
For anyone to be able to figure it out.
Right.
Okay. And they also do the insider thing as well, where they implant people, or no?
They could. Yeah. They could very easily could too.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, keeping up with security news is one of the best ways to learn about newest attacks, as well as joining local industry groups, attending conferences, all ways of finding out what's happening in our community. That's why, if you notice, under the events module, I have 2 assignments where you need to attend Pacific Hackers and OWASP. These are 2 local organizations that you can listen to or attend in person whenever they start doing in-person meetings, and learn about those things, learn about what's happening in the industry, hear from folks who are working in the field, and stay up to date with what's happening. So your work this week will be not only to set up your 2 cloud machines, is also these 2 labs. I don't yet have the Google codes. I'm waiting for Google to send those to me. As soon as I get those, I'm going to post a message on Discord saying, hey, I have the codes. You can ask me for them. You should not be paying for cloud usage. Anything GCP related should be free to you. You will, though, need to sign up for Try Hack Me. They do have an education price, which is not $10 a month. It's less than that. What you need to do for this is complete the tutorial. And under activities, search for anything that's open source intelligence. And complete 3 rooms that are related to that. So here's a screenshot that I took. When I searched for OSINT, I got these. So you just pick 3 of them and work through them. When you complete the room, you take a snapshot, and so you would be submitting 3 screenshots in one document. You'll also go to this site and complete ATT 1 through 7. The answers that it gives you at the end, those are the ones you would submit into this quiz. So I have no shame in showing you that the quiz is exactly that. So you complete ATT 1. Again, do this when you've finished all 7. Once you've done all 7 and you have the 7 answers, then start the quiz and just copy paste the answers for A1 through 7 and then hit submit. So don't do it before. Don't do it one at a time. Do it all at once when you have all 7 answers. But yeah, once I have the codes, I will let you know on Discord that I have them. And then I will give you a code that you would enter into GCP so that you can use the cloud for free. Any questions on the work this week?